Hey everybody, this is Perch. We'll get into this mail. I've gotten a lot of mail about the election. I feel like I've probably opened up this Pandora's box myself because somebody asked me who I was voting for or whatever else. And rather than say, as a lot of you suggested, um, hey, it's none of your business who I'm voting for, which is the correct answer. I tried to reason my way through how I think. And, the nuance was appreciated by probably, like, let's be honest, by like 98% of you. But damn, that 2% is pretty annoying, right? So I've gotten a lot of mail since the election about what happened and everything else. And I've got a lot of people who've written in going, ha ha, like literally this. I'll read you this one mail. It says, ha ha, you dumb fucker. And it says, aha, hope you enjoy getting fisted by the bright glove of Trump. You should have supported him all along. Fuck you. That is the mail. That's the whole mail I got. And I'm not sure exactly what in my comments created that. I do know that there's, certainly other YouTube channels and other people who, they disagree with me. And so one of the ways they kind of go at that is to be like, Perch is woke. He's woke. But I have to believe that the vast majority of you with any intelligence whatsoever, or certainly anybody who actually listens to the show knows that I don't know. It's just hard. I think it's a hard argument to pay me as one thing or another. But anyway, I got a bunch of those mails. I got a lot of people like, how do you feel like your hero Kamala lost? And I'm like, okay, okay. For what it's worth, to restate, I think my position, all of you know, is that I really dislike the candidates. I can't help but feeling like we got like 100 million eligible people who could run for office. Uh, Really? These two? Really? I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't you like? Wouldn't don't you want to go to the ballot and be like, man, there's two really smart people here, and I'm really gonna have to dig into how they kind of view it because really, I'd be happy with either of these two winning the presidency. I just, man, I really this is a hard choice. As opposed to me, I'm sitting in the ballot and I'm like, fuck, I don't know. That's and I know many of you are like, yeah, but you have your reasons why one candidate or the other are crazy. But the fact that we're talking about crazy as opposed to two really, people who have it buttoned up, that's the problem. So, and like I've always said, and thankfully most of you, the vast majority of you, respect my opinion on this. Look, at the end of the day, um, as somebody who worked retail, as somebody who was a retailer, as somebody who generally believes the right way forward is that we've got to get along. We do need each other we need each other as a society to survive. Yeah, it's fun on Twitter to be like, no, fuck, all the Democrats could just disappear. Yeah, okay, but that's a lot of that's a decent chunk of people, and we actually need a functional society. And yes, your commute would be much faster. I don't get me wrong, that would be a plus. I won't deny it. But all the same, we need to have understanding with each other. For God's sake, this I thoroughly, and as long as I'm pissing off everybody, I blame the left on this because it is the left that did this. And I've talked to Democrats who deny this up and down. But I will tell you as a got a firm statement around the Trump presidency, the left took a position of, hey, um, it is no longer acceptable to hold certain rights, and I won't even try and understand you. Those people, like, they took an extreme position because always the guidance for many of us growing up was, you don't have to like this person's politics, but we still have to work together, or you still have to get along. Like, you don't talk about politics because at the end of the day, we still need to work together. That was the mantra. That was what we were all taught and what we all believed. And somewhere along the lines, it became no. There is no reasoning. Cut these people out of your lives. And the left started that. I'm not going to deny it. The right's done some of that too, for sure. But the left went at that really hard with the Trump presidency, and that was an escalation. The idea that if you don't agree with my politics, you're dead to me. And people had heated conversations about politics, but never before have we gotten such an extreme view of you believe what I believe, or fuck. Anyway, let's get into this mail. This mail says, because this does get back to comics. What is the percentage chance that will get conservative writers back at the big five publishers? I'm mildly curious who we think the big five are, by the way, but I don't know. That's been a different discussion today. It says, "Hello, Perch. Um, I'm sorry to hear you're having health problems. Thank you. I hope you get better soon. Thank you a second time. Thank you again. Okay. I've been listening to your podcast from almost the very beginning. That's awesome, and have enjoyed it. I appreciate the effort you made to keep it going. The question is this: now that American people have made an incontrovertible statement against the excesses of the political left, yes and no. Yes, they did. I mean, it was, there was a majority and there was a mandate, but it was a thin majority. I mean, when you get more than 60%, that's a landslide. We're at like a 51% to 49%. It's closer than that. And I don't say that to like pee on your cornflakes there, but just, it's not as much, both sides have been doing this for a while. They like eke out a victory, and it's like, we have a mandate. Everybody believes us. No, no, no. You didn't. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't take pride in your win. Republicans took the Senate, House, and presidency. So that's a mandate on some level, but it's a thin mandate, which means what the American people are really sending you a message of is, hey, we think you have the better ideas, and we think we have a little bit more confidence in you. But for fuck's sake, can you make this not a clown show and actually work together? That is what they're saying. Anyway, the question is this: now that the American people, okay, what do you think the chances are we'll see a return of conservative writers at the Big Five? Personally, I'd like to see this happen so the fandom can heal from the ill effects of the mass shunning of the non-left people have had on our hobby. I do appreciate that from an insider viewpoint, you may say that there are already conservatives in comics. Yeah, there are. But from where I sit as a fan, it seems like there are none, or that the ones that are there are keeping it secret to avoid ire. That is also true. Two things are true at once. There are conservatives in comics. It is also true that by and large, the conservatives do not feel the freedom to express their political beliefs and other things in front of their peers. That is also true. But it's funny because I will say there are conservative comics, and I'll get one side will tell me, no, that's bullshit. And I'll say those conservatives that are there fear reprisal. And the other side will go, no, that's bullshit. But the answer is both are true. There are definitely conservatives in comics, but they also definitely fear retribution because the people in comics, and the majority of them are left-leaning, will lose their shit because, again, of that previous statement I made about intolerance. Anyway, my hope is not to get stories with conservative talking points in them. I just want rifts in comics to start healing. I think publishers visibly allowing conservatives to work for them and being civil about it would go a long way to achieving that dream. Yeah, it would. And I mean, look, this may be just a state of mind kind of thing. Mark Miller is going to do a Marvel comic in the next 5 years. Okay. Mark Miller is definitely not on the same political spectrum as the left-leaning side, but comics are also a more liberal medium. And I think that's something that we kind of have to face. And it's been that way for a very long time. Comics have skewed left. They've always skewed left, and it's been that way. The difference is in this intolerance that's cropped up. So the solution is to solve the intolerance. And to do that, having conservative in comics, I mean, if they're good and talented, sure. I mean, that will give us good comics. It won't solve the rift, but it will give us good comics. What solves the rift is that people just have to grow the fuck up and, stop getting horny at the idea of canceling each other. That's what really needs to happen. And that's a harder task. That's talking about human maturity. And unfortunately, there's just, there's just too much benefit to being an asshole. And you see this on all sides of the political spectrum. Look, the YouTube channels that do live streams, they do live streams that are, fapping sessions, for a reason, because it basically, they know that, outrage and anger and all that other bullshit wins and sells. That's the name of the game. And so until you make that not profitable, you're going to have these assholes across the board. And tolerance is, unfortunately, where it's all got to be. So Anyway, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get a rise in conservatism comics? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.